Hi, I'm Guy Lawrence, and you are listening to the Guy Lawrence podcast. If you're enjoying this content and you want to find out more and join me and come further down the rabbit hole, make sure you head back to guylawrence.com.au. Awesome, guys. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, back in. When things go wrong, you got to get the jester hat out, mate. That's what happened. I used to work for this tent and awning company. We drive around the country in the States and we put up tents for like horse shows and shit. And there's this weird guy named Bullet was his name. And every time he's total hillbilly. Every time something would go wrong, he would like you like somebody cut you off or something in traffic, or it'd be like slamming on brakes. It's like oh shit, that's bad karma. Change the karma. And he clap his hands like, all right, we just changed karma. So bring the hat out. We just changed karma. Now we got good karma.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've moved my car as well because I was sitting in an oven. It's still an oven. I'm still sweating, but
Good, mate. You're working on finding harmony in the stresses. This is what we're doing right now.
exactly. I want to create as many stressful elements as I possibly can to then sit in it with a smile on my face to be able to hold this conversation. I mean, why make it easy for ourselves, right?
Well, yeah, no, it'd be fucking boring. Like, let's complicate the hell out of it.
Exactly.
Just like, yeah, that's just the way we roll. Okay, so
All right.
what are we talking about? We're in three sessions. I got your email. We're gonna do this 3 sessions of letting go and living in flow, right? Or no, how to gain clarity and what's holding us back.
It's the Letting Go, Live in Flow video series. And we're going to talk about how to gain clarity on what's holding us back.
Gotcha. All right.
Simples.
Simple.
And I have no idea what I said earlier, but the question I want to ask you now is let go and live in flow.
Yes.
What does it mean to you?
It means get out of your head and get into your heart, basically. You know, that's been my journey. That's been, you know, I come from being rewarded for being smart in maths and science. And like, you know, I was in school and I was finishing the assignments before the teacher assigned them. And then I'd spend the rest of the time fucking around. And I clean my language up. And Facebook's gonna bleep us. And so then, you know, that led me into engineering. So I became a computer engineer because that was the way to go. And then it was all about mind, think, get your grades, get good marks, you know, all this stuff. And it's like,
Yeah,
that restricted me in my life. And there was all this creativity, all this, you know, inspiration and stuff that was wanting to flow through me. And it took life to like shake me a lot before I actually realized how to relax into that, how to let go into that, how to feel into my heart, how to be present with the insights, with the inspirations, the subtle impulses that want to move us, that are beyond the thoughts. So it's like this space between the thoughts that's wanting to come through, and we're so attached to our thoughts that we miss it. You know, we're looking for the next thought, the next best thing that we can think to do in our lives. And it's not about thinking or doing, it's about being and feeling. So it's like, you know, you got to let all that shit go and find practices, find things that allow you through your day to relinquish the grasp that you have on your mind has on you, basically. That's what I would say. What about you?
yeah. Look, I 100% agree with everything you say. But I think that the greatest difficulty is, and it was for me for a long time, is being able to trust that letting go element, having the courage to trust it, and actually start to develop that connection to the heart and create that alignment with head and heart. Because we generally all head. We generally try and think our way out of situations. But I've found every single situation in life, whether it's taken me years to resolve, there's still things I need to, you know, that there's always processes that you're unraveling. But to be able to tap into that innate feeling you talk about and not allow the thought, almost like the subconscious, the powerhouse of the body, and to start to trust that and act upon it as well is the key to allow this unraveling. And
Well, I think you're going into like an important thing. So it's this lack of trust, but what do you feel is behind the lack of trust? Why don't we trust that? You know, it just seems like if that's such a huge capacity and such a powerhouse, then why are we avoiding it?
I think personally, well, I can only speak for myself personally. first of all, I never knew it existed growing up, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was a great, I could drink 17 pints of Guinness. I was fantastic at rugby, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was my reference points to my manliness in this world. So I never knew there was a greater force or a greater connection that I could actually receive information from, and vice versa, this interaction to allow me to lean in and go, this is actually information coming in. What is it saying? So first of all, I never knew, right? And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah. For sure.
so my whole belief systems were, which I went on to learn. I mean, that's another conversation as well about our belief systems, right? But I didn't realize that I was running off belief systems. And then once I started to learn and become aware of this world, and this is actually going, this isn't just hocus pocus shit. I mean, this is science has now proven it. But was then, well, how I'm going to swear, I'll make you feel better, mate. How the fuck do we do it? Like, okay, yeah, great. Or, you know, it's like, how do you start to tap into that? And for me, it's a skill. It's a
it's like building a muscle. Exactly. It's a practice. I mean, that's, you use this word practice in meditation, but it sometimes doesn't translate. It's like something you do every day. You repeat, and you actually then build a resilience, build a strength in that. And it's like, of course. And you're nailing, I think, is just this, you know, how to gain clarity first and foremost is to have awareness of it. You know, if I don't know that I'm holding something, you know, like if I'm holding something that's not stirring me and I'm trying to grab something else, I'm just going to punch the screen, right? But if I put it down, I see that I'm holding it and I have the opportunity to put it down, then I can grab onto something new. You know, it's like, so awareness is critical. We don't know that we're in command a lot of the times. We don't know. And so it's like, yeah, drop in. And I think underlying that is this fear, right? And I think it was just, you know, it's like, it's just this, like, one of the basic human conditions is that we are so uncomfortable, so afraid, so like pushing away the unknown, you know? And it's like, where's the known? It's in your head. What else is in your head? The restrictions, the things that keep you bound by the physicality, and you're basically bound by time, you're bound by space, you're bound by the dualistic nature of things and all the laws that those inhabit. If you're holding on to that known, which is in the brain, right?
Yes.
But it's like, we should invent new words, I think, because it's not really unknown that you're going into, right? It's all known. It's like this all-knowing place beyond what you think you know is a greater knowing. It's not an unknown so much, and I think that's kind of like,
but until
people.
I was only having this conversation this morning, Matt, because until you have that experience of this all-knowing, this connection to the like, the many terms of it, you call it, what do you call it? What's the phrase? The divine
Harmony, yeah, that divine
harmony, right? Like,
and
the first time I heard of it was the quantum field or whatever. Like, I'm going to name drop for a sec, but it's a great name to drop because it happened this morning. I had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Bruce Lipton, and we had this fantastic conversation. But he was talking about these very things, right? Because in his world, he was saying that if 95% of our day is run from the subconscious beliefs, systems, habits, and everything you've inherited, and 90% of those are inherited in the last trimester of your birth, before you're born, all the way to you're 7 years old. And that's what he was saying. And you have no awareness. But what he was also saying is that you're constantly, there's a term in biology, I can't remember what the word he used, but all the way from your bacteria, if you try to kill a bacteria, it's going to avoid and do everything, like it's in this consciousness awareness to avoid any kind of pain or struggle. Does that make sense? All the way up to every single cell in our body and the humane. So we kind of condition ourselves.
Conditioned, exactly. Yeah.
We condition ourselves then as an adult. Everything is on this fear-based, safety-based mechanism that is alert, goes on to red alert. And if we don't have the awareness, we can then perceive all those environments and things and interpret as this equals bad, this equals fear, this equals I'm not doing it, I'm going to stay in my current known reality because I have interpreted this as safe. And yet that
Mm.
interpretation of what I feel is safe is actually killing me, and it's killing me slowly, or whatever it might be. I'm unhappy and I'm miserable and I want to change everything.
That's it. Jesus.
Awareness.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. And if you don't know that you don't know, then you're never gonna reach outside of that. And that's why I think it's my work and everything that I'm focusing on now is how do I actually elicit a change in biochemistry, which elicits a different vantage point of thought, of different perception, so that you actually get outside of this jar that you're sitting in, this jar of comfort, this jar of mind, and then you can actually get outside and read the label instead of trying to read the labels that are keeping you bound from inside the jar. It's like you can't. You got to get outside of it. So meditation, the breath work, all these things that elicit a shift in your biology and your neurology, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I work with sound. That's why I work with breath. That's why I'm moving into more things that are going to start to trigger people to push them out of that little comfort jar, that comfort bubble, and allow for a greater awareness, because you're never going to see that you're sitting in the jar if you're in the jar. You got to get out of it. So,
yeah, totally.
And like you're saying, and that's when you have that experience. It's like what you've got to have this experience of this divine, of this expanse, of this greater consciousness, and I think a lot of times it will come through like trauma or stresses, and that we get kicked so hard that we're just forced to see things differently. Like all the everyday status quo that we've embraced is no longer relevant. It just gets shattered, and it's kind of like life will sometimes feel like it's dismembering you so you can remember who you are, and it's like
it's painful as it is.
Yeah, but if we actually consciously had a practice of gaining more awareness in each moment as we're going through our reactions, as we're going through our triggers, as we're going through our different experiences, relationships, and lives, if each moment we're like kind of checking back in, like, what do you call it? Metacognition, where you like observing your thoughts?
I was just literally going to say, yeah. It's like, after myself with a background in the health and wellness space, a little bit different to I'm getting frustrated why people are not wanting to create change. I realized awareness is everything. Like, it is the seed of change, and I use the term metacognition, which means to observe one's thoughts and oneself. And I love this, and I love saying that I believe true meditation is not actually what you do in your meditation practice daily, which helps you to learn to become aware and the observer of what's going on, but then what you do with your eyes open through the day, because that's when
huge.
That's when we make the choices. Everything is compounded.
I think you're hitting a point too that I always like to make, is that there's so many of these personal development and self-help experiences stuff that it's this big rah, boom, let's have a explosion, and then go back into our lives and go pow, pow, and it's like, well, transformation is happening in every moment. And it's like, what are you taking away from these, immersions, from these in-depth experiences? Like on our retreat, it's like we're giving tools that you take back into your life, and then you're practicing, so that it's like, you basically, that retreat is expanded. Once you participate, it goes into your life, and you actually then can have a retreat for the rest of your life, and it's
exactly.
Like, that's the kind of work that excites me, doing my 7 sessions, doing the ongoing stuff that is giving people techniques and tools and practices that then you're doing just that. You're looking in those moments. You're basically meditating through your day, through your life, instead of being unconscious. And then, I've got a weekend of meditation and checking in, and then I've got 45 years of just being unconscious. It's like, do the maths. So look, I think it's key.
It's huge.
So I think we could talk about this for days, being that we've only got 20-minute little window here. We're wanting to talk about awareness, and I think we tapped on the going within as well. Yeah. So with taking the time to actually drop in, one of the things that I offer in my 7 sessions in the book that I've just written is this idea of checking in. Like, there's to me, you've got a vibrational signature. You've got what you're transmitting into the world, and it consists of what your breath is, where your body is, where your mind and your emotions. And those 4 components are just the easy way to kind of just like track where you are in a moment. You know, if you were to go into your day and take your phone and have it chime every hour, and you say, okay, let me just check in to what I call a vibrational signature. So it's just like, is my breath deep or shallow? Is it expanded or contracted? Is my body restricted or open? Or am I, you know, upright or slunched over? Or where are my thoughts? Are they positive, negative? Are they restrictive? Are they expansive? Where's my breath? Is it, or where's my emotions? Are they, you know, aligned with what it is that I want to be feeling in my life, or against what I'm wanting to be feeling? And if you just note that, it takes you like 30 seconds to be like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now I've got a reference point. Here's where I am. And then that's going to build the awareness and your capacity then to be checking in through your day and start to know where you are. Because then when you know where you are, then you can decide where you want to go. If you don't know where you are and you're trying to set vision boards and do all these things and like trying, you know, visualize where you want to be and set goals, and it's like you can't get there because you don't know where the hell you are. You're not going to get anywhere. So I think,
now.
yeah, right, man. So I think that's a good tool that like people can do between now and next week. Because next week we'll talk about more about the you know, once you know where you are, then and you're clear, you've got this clarity. Then how do you move out of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
I mean, what do you think?
I think, yeah, there's one thing I want to add to that, because you got to want to do it, because we if and I often think about this because I constantly try and observe myself. Like, you think you're going crazy sometimes, right? You're like, shit, did I just do that?
Yeah.
but
you're a nutter, man. You're totally crazy.
If it's a known fact that 70 to 80% of the time we're running on the hormones of stress, we've reconditioned the homeostasis in such a way that through today's society, this is a fact. I'm not just pulling these out from the ether, from the field, but right. If we've conditioned the body so much, when you think of the daily demands on our life, that we can actually get addicted to that. And
shit, yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden we don't want to change it. So when we set the alarm, we kind of go through the motions of it. We don't actually do the process.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and just start feeling, check. Let me do my gratitude journal. Let me feel gratitude. But let me move on and continue.
You sweep it under the carpet, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm only saying it because you know, I've done this myself. But you've really got to. It's a practice and a process that you really have to try and do. You have to really notice that, and you just think. It's just similar to that. Maybe somebody has given you the shits, or somebody's cut you up in traffic, and you want to go there. You want to vent. You want to, because it's just a trained response that we can do. But we can train ourselves to feel joy in that moment. And when I don't, I have a loving wife that likes to remind me when I don't. You know what I mean? But it's a skill and a process, and I just want to emphasize that. You know, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And the other thing I will add to that end is I always go into my heart now. So when I feel a thing, I'll actually bring awareness to my heart. And once I bring awareness to my heart, I can actually feel it, because I want to always be connected to the heart and the head. And then that helps give me feedback. Okay, I'm stressed right now. I've got tension in my neck. I'm shallow breathing. These thoughts are rolling around in my mind. Why is that? What's that process? Can I just come back? And that's where the fight is on, and that's where meditation comes in, right? As well as the work to go, can I bring myself back to center? Can I calm my nervous system down? Can I reset? And then the rest of the day from this moment on, I've got ahead of me, how can I look at it differently to do that?
That's it. Yeah, just taking command of your state, of your vibration, where you are in yourself. It's like, you know, how many times a day do we go in this place of the external is the reason why we are feeling what we're feeling, you know? It's like life happening to us instead of life happening through us. It's like, it's just like rampant through all of society. I mean, you look at our supposed leaders and everything, it's like, it's just a blame game. It's just you know, there's nothing, there's no responsibility, there's no self, you know, command of yourself. It's just
totally
everyone else. So it's like
I lived as a victim, mate. I lived as a victim unknowingly for the first 30 odd years of my life. I really did. I didn't know how to vocalize it. I didn't know how to express my emotions and feelings. Like I said, this work, I didn't I didn't know existed. And I had a story that was playing over and over and over again. And
Oh, those stories, yeah.
and it held me there. But this it's you know, whatever circumstances or blame or whatever I could do, whatever trigger, that's gone. They have gone. Whatever has been done is left the building, and we are just rerunning the program, the tape over and over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's those things, and it's these simple processes, and this is why I'm so passionate about this work these days, because it's life-changing. You just got to own it.
Yeah.
Practice it.
It's so simple. It's like everything's at our fingertips, and it's just like, do you want to come up to the banquet table and have a feast, or do you want to sit and grab the crumbs on the side of the floor? You know, it's like, and fight over those crumbs. You know, it's so funny. We're so hilarious with all of our attachments and our, you know, our fears, and yeah, we really do have, you know, all of our dreams and desires at our fingertips. And that being said, it's like, you know, you can hear this. I say something like that, and I hear myself, and I'm like, but it's fucking work, you know. Like you said, you got to want to do it. You got to want to go move forward and have these, you know, change the way you're thinking, change the patterns of thought, change the, you know, have the time and the courage to actually feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and not yeah. Go on.
I was going to say, philosophy will only get you so far. Like, you can read every book, you can watch everything like this, but we need an understanding to edge forward and trust, which is good. But there's an element of education, but then application, and actually applying and living it. You got to live it, you know, for better or worse. So I believe we've covered 2 steps. So awareness, I think so. And there was one more, because we have called it the 3-step.
All right. Well, what was the awareness? We definitely hammered the awareness bit. What was the second one?
Well, we said to actually create stillness and go within. Oh, and the third one was actionable steps. I think.
Yeah. Well, I gave a bit of. Yeah, we both gave a bit of action. I can't even say the word. Actionable steps.
Totally.
But yeah, that going within, I think, is critical as well. Like, there's so much noise outside of us, hey? And it's like, and this is something I noticed last night. I drove all the way back from Melbourne last night, and it's freaking smashed. And then I did my online course, and I got the course, and I'm like, wow, I'm feeling like I need some comfort. Like, you know, and I was like, I just started to observe myself. I was like, oh, I think I'll go get some, like, chocolate or ice cream or something, or maybe I'll go call some friends and meet up with some friends, or man, you know, it's like all these extra, or maybe I'll just get a movie, or like all these external, or here I'm on Facebook, it's like external ways to satiate. And then I like roped myself in. I was like, wait a minute, dude, like, this is now your time to go in and be conscious about what's there. And I was like, okay, so I'm feeling this emotion. I was feeling a bit like sad, like I wanted to comfort this sadness and reaching outside. But then I just ran a bath and like got in the bath and had I made an elixir. I'm working on some love potions for my book launch. So I trialed out one of the love potions, and that's a little external distraction there itself, but it was mild. But I sat in the bath, right? And just really got present, let the emotions come, let myself feel that. And I felt like 10 times better. And I was like, wow, I don't need to reach for all these external things and put a few kilos on because I was eating chocolate, or waste my time because I just stayed up till 2 in the morning watching a movie, or like, you know, and I went to bed, relaxed, and having been satiating those senses of comfort through the bath, through going to bed at a decent hour. And it's like, this is with the process, you know, it's like, be present, be still with yourself, drop in. When things come up, notice when you're reaching outside, and come back in. Say, yo, what's there? What am I trying to satiate with these external distractions? Totally. And then you start to be honest with yourself, you know, and that's when the rubber hits the road and you're rocking it.
And if you're not practicing it daily, you just revert back to the old patterns. So, you know, one other actionable step I would encourage everyone is to practice it first thing in the morning and even last thing at night before you go to bed. Anyway, just get in the habit of when you wake up, you know, sit in stillness for 5 to 10 minutes. Like, don't check your
Oh,
phone.
so good. Yeah.
Right? Like just do something simple. Breathe in. If you don't know what to do, just breathe in and out of your heart. Simple. And hold your awareness there and just see what comes up. Are you already trying to anticipate the future, or are you already creating emotions within the body that are happening from the past? And either way, you can be creating anxiety from what's ahead, or even depressive things from what is past. And that's the thinking and feeling loop, and that's what's keeping us locked in those moments. And if we're not even trying to come back and become aware and come back to that present, to allow our nervous system to stop firing and wiring in the same way that it does, then you're already behind the 8 ball going into your day. So it's like,
you're in
start
reaction.
practicing. You're in reactionary mode already. Fill your cup up first. You got to, man.
Yeah.
You have to,
Totally.
no matter what you do.
So true.
There we go.
All right, dude. I think we dropped a couple nuggets of stuff.
I think so. I'd encourage anyone to, if they've got any questions, if they're watching this later as well. I'm trying to read the comments as they come up, and
I know they come up
I'm
so
pretty
fast,
bad.
and
They
they're
come
like
up
that
pretty
small.
quick. Apologies. So we'll both go through, answer any questions that you have as well. So if anything is triggered up and you got a question, please just leave it in the comments, and we'll make sure. And we will do the same thing next week for part 2, how we move through this and what we do, and we will be more tech savvy, ready to go next week. I just want to see a different hat, Matt.
Oh, I got plenty of hats, mate. And skirts and all kinds of things. We'll pull out the whole wardrobe. Don't you worry.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well, thanks, buddy. Much up to you, brother.
Yeah,
really
thanks,
appreciate
mate.
this call. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully everyone. I can see so many familiar faces there. It's just wonderful. I love technology. For this.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for checking in. Thanks, Guy, for just awesome. Love chatting with you. So we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.